All right, first up, let's get you the latest on the world's largest democratic election in India, of course. Intensive campaigning is on for the third phase of India's parliamentary election. Preparations are also underway for the subsequent phases of election. Leaders from both the ruling BJP and the opposition are actively holding rallies and roadshows. Syed Absarul Hassan reports.
Hectic campaigning continues for the third and remaining phases of India's parliamentary elections. Leader of ruling party and oppositions were busy holding rallies and roadshows. On Saturday, India's Prime Minister and senior BJP leader Narendra Modi conducted rallies in the eastern state of Jharkhand for the general elections. He held rallies in Palamu and Lohardaga. Speaking at a rally in Palamu, Prime Minister Modi highlighted the achievements of his government and cautioned against the perceived threats posed by the Congress and its allies.
आपके एक वोट ने ऐसा काम किया कि पूरी दुनिया भारत के लोकतंत्र की ताकत को सलाम करने लग गई थी। आपने 2014 में अपने एक वोट से कांग्रेस की महाभ्रष्ट सरकार को हटा दिया था।
Prime Minister Modi also held a roadshow in Kanpur in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh. BJP senior leader and Home Minister Amit Shah held election rallies in Gujarat. Addressing a public meeting in Valsad, Amit Shah noted that the prosperity and upliftment of the tribal society has always been the priority of the BJP. Opposition leaders are also holding multiple rallies in order to galvanize support in favor of their party and alliance candidates. Congress party leader Priyanka Gandhi addressed a rally in Gujarat's Banaskantha.
भाजपा के कई नेताओं ने जो चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं, कुछ मंत्रियों ने देश भर में जो घूम रहे हैं, उन्होंने कहा कि अगर भाजपा फिर से जीतेगी तो संविधान बदला जाएगा। जब ये लोग कहते हैं कि संविधान को बदलना चाहते हैं, तो इनका क्या मतलब है? इनका मतलब ये है कि जितने भी अधिकार आपको दिए गए हैं, वो अधिकार कम करेंगे।
Samajwadi Party National President Akhilesh Yadav held marathon public meeting to woo voters. During his speech at a rally, he asserted that his party is poised to secure victories in a majority of the seats in Uttar Pradesh.
7 तारीख का चुनाव और जो वोट पड़ने जा रहा है तीसरे चरण का, ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी को 7 समुंदर दूर फेंक देगा। पहले दूसरे चरण की हवा तो आपको पता लग गई होगी। पहले दूसरे चरण में जो जनता ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी को पलटा है, रहा बचा तीसरे चरण वाले लोग, इन लोगों का सफाया करने जा रहे हैं।
Meanwhile, in a big blow to Congress party, its Delhi unit president Arvinder Singh Lavli joined the ruling BJP. Syed Absarul Hassan for DD India.
All right, let me now get you some ground reports. Some voters in Goa's Bicholim are not impressed by empty promises of restarting mining operations. Others demand a clear commitment from their elected representatives, while still others point to the long-term irreversible ecological damage because of mining. Jessica Taneja sent us this report from the Shirgaon mines. Take a look.
Goa's once booming iron ore industry has fallen on hard times. Allegations of widespread illegalities and tax evasion forced a shutdown, leaving a legacy of environmental concerns and economic uncertainty. Although the Shirgaon mines have been in existence for the last 60 years, operations were briefly halted in 2010, only to resume about a month ago. And the truck operators say they find it difficult to make ends meet because they cannot cope with the pressures and high inflation. The wait for these truckers for mining resumption has been unending. Except for some ore transportation in small quantities, they did not get any business.
जो मेन ट्रांसपोर्ट है वो अभी तक चालू नहीं हुआ। जे ट्रांसपोर्ट फ्रॉम माइन टू जेटी जब भी चालू होने का टाइम होता था तब हम किधर से भी लोन लेते थे, नहीं तो हमारी बीबी बच्चे का जो गोल्ड है वो बैंक में रखकर लोन लेते थे और गाड़ी चालू करती थी। ट्रक मालक को बहुत परेशानी हुई है और बहुत लॉसेस में है ट्रक।
But a different story begins to fill the air. Locals are forced to put up with iron ore-laden trucks roaring past their homes round the clock. The ecological damage will be irreversible.
When you are transporting ore, that is huge dust pollution on the roads, because as the trucks moves, there is the dust particles, iron ore particles, which falls on the road. And with the movement of the vehicles, it flies into the houses, it flies into the lungs of all the residents nearby. So that is again a big problem for the health.
In Goa, tourism may reign supreme, but according to a study by National Institution for Transforming India, more than 100,000 people, or 10.5% of the state's workforce, were jobless in 2020-2021. This number hits even closer to home in the mining belt, where key 5 talukas or sub-districts supply 20% of North Goa's voters. Before the halt in mining activities, mining revenue contributed to 20% of the state's GDP. In 2020, Goa's iron ore mining halt caused a revenue loss of over $460 million. In Bicholim, residents like Sudhakar are desperate for a return to mining. They've borne the brunt of economic losses for too long, and their hopes now hinge on the resumption of mining operations.
अभी हमको 10 महीना हुआ, अभी काम नहीं, रिट्रीज क्या कंपनी है। यानी हमारा खेती भी था, पहले खेती के लिए हम काम पे रखा था, अभी हमारा खेती भी गया, काम भी गया, अभी हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं। छोटे छोटे बच्चे, अभी हमारा उम्र भी हुआ।
As parties across the political spectrum promise to revive the mining sector, this election will be a test for candidates who can diversify Goa's economy beyond tourism and mining activities to address unemployment and regain not just economic but also ecological stability. Jessica Thaneja for DD India.
Campaigning for 7 seats of Chhattisgarh is in full swing. These seats will go to the polls on 7th May. In an exclusive interview to Siddharth Bharadwaj, Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Vishnu Dev Sai said that he was confident that the BJP will win all 11 seats in the state.
With me, the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Mr. Vishnu Dev Sai. And election fever is certainly gripping the country. Sir, इन चुनावों को किस तरीके से देखते हैं आप?
देखिए, चुनाव बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है और ये चुनाव हमारे देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को तीसरी बार फिर से प्रधानमंत्री बनाने का चुनाव है और हमारे छत्तीसगढ़ में बहुत अच्छा वातावरण है। अभी कुछ ही महीने यहाँ पर पहले विधानसभा का चुनाव संपन्न हुआ है, जिसमें भारतीय जनता पार्टी को ऐतिहासिक विजय मिली है। 54 सीट और 46% से ज़्यादा वोट लेकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनी है और मैं लगातार मुख्यमंत्री के नाते सभाओं में जा रहा हूं और हमको लगता है कि आज हमारा ये 71वां विधानसभा है और आज आप भी देखे होंगे वहाँ कार्यक्रम में कितनी भीड़ थी। आज 42-43 डिग्री धूप चल रहा है, लोग घर से निकलना पसंद नहीं कर रहे हैं। उसके बाद भी इतने प्रभावित हैं मोदी जी से, भारतीय जनता पार्टी से, उनके 10 साल के काम से और 3 महीने में जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की हमारी यहाँ की सरकार ने मोदी की गारंटी को जो पूरा करने का प्रयास किया है किसानों के लिए, माता बहनों के लिए, वो सबसे बहुत प्रभावित हैं और इसीलिए इतनी संख्या में लोग यहाँ पर जनसैलाब उमड़ा हुआ था।
सर, बहुत जल्दी थे, 11 सीट हैं छत्तीसगढ़ के अंदर, 9 पिछली बार खाते में आई थी, इस बार क्या आप मानते हैं 11 सीट में से?
हाँ, इस बार हम लोग 9 सीट में थे, इसके पहले 2 बार 10-10 में थे और इस बार जिस तरह से हम वातावरण देख रहे हैं मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि पूरी सीट 11 की 11 सीट भारतीय जनता पार्टी जीतेगी।
Now, political heat has overtaken the scorching summers of central India. as political parties continue with their campaign for the election in Bhopal, the capital of Madhya Pradesh. Akshay Dongre reports on how leaders and party workers alike are beating the heat in the city of lakes.
Campaign in Bhopal constituency in Madhya Pradesh is in its last leg. Both the main contenders from the BJP and the Indian National Congress have intensified their campaigns. But along with the politics, the temperature of the city is also soaring. The city has recorded over 40 degrees Celsius temperature in the last 2 weeks for several days. But the rallies and canvassing by the leaders continue. The BJP is fighting to retain the Bhopal seat, considered a bastion for the party since 1989.
गर्मी, किसी भी प्रकार की धूप प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की आंधी को नहीं रोक पाएगी। अटक से कटक तक और कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी तक एक ही आवाज आ रही है, हर गली हर मोहल्ले में, अब की बार।
Meanwhile, the BJP workers are also bracing the scorching heat to ensure that the people of the seat continue to vote for their party.
हम कर रहे हैं मोदी जी के लिए, हाँ, वो हमारे भाई हैं, उनके लिए 400 पार करना है।
मेहनत तो करना पड़ेगा, वो जब हमारे लिए इतना मेहनत कर रहे हैं तो अपन भी तो करेंगे मेहनत। भाई हमारे लिए देश चला रहे हैं पूरा, तो हम सब थोड़ा बहुत कर लेते हैं।
Similarly, the Congress party is giving its final push through campaigning to regain the constituency that it last won in 1984.
इस समय सबसे बड़ी समस्या बेरोजगारी की, हर घर में 2-4 बेरोजगार बैठे हैं और कोई प्लानिंग गवर्नमेंट की तो भोपाल में मेरे को दिखती नहीं है। आईटी हब की बात की गई थी, वो नहीं हुआ।
The workers of the Congress party are also working along with their leaders to ensure a better performance than the last general elections, where the party could only manage to win 1 out of 29 seats in the state.
गर्मी है, हमारे प्रत्याशी महोदय भी पूरा दम लगा रहे हैं। कांग्रेस का कार्यकर्ता फिर एकजुट है इस बार, क्योंकि बदलाव जरूरी है। कार्यकर्ता इस 40 डिग्री की धूप में भी उनके साथ कंधे से कंधा लगा के खड़ा हुआ है।
The elections in Bhopal, along with 8 other constituencies, will take place on 7th May during the third phase. This time will be the peak of summers in India. To provide respite to their workers, the political parties are organizing community kitchens, resting place and coolers to cool down their workers and leaders. But the hope to achieve a total victory is the biggest weapon for the party workers and the political leaders against the extreme summer heat of central India.
In peak summer, as the temperature soared, the political temperature of Madhya Pradesh is also at an all-time high. And as the polling day approaches, all the political parties have started to give their campaign one last push to ensure that no stone remains unturned and that no voter is left behind in the scorching heat in the great Indian elections. From Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, with camera person Ramakant Sharma, Akshay Dongre, DD India.
Still to come on DD India News Hour. DD India's team of correspondents gets you the latest on the great Indian election.
E-waste is growing phenomenally in India, and I think it's time that we reconsidered our consumption patterns.
We need to formalize repairs, we need to formalize refurbishments, and by law also they are permitted.
It expands their repair network. The consumer gets benefit because it's cheaper and it's accessible, and the guy is able to make a living.
Government policies and in fact the road engineering policy says the surface road should have a better product. Adding the crumb rubber to the bitumen overcome with its inherent weaknesses.
I felt the urge to try to change something, especially multi-layered plastics can't be recycled. It's a huge burden on our environment.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Election fever has well and truly gripped India. Some parts of the country are decked up for the third phase of election on 7th May. All arrangements are in place, but hot weather poses some challenges. Ravi Dhiman reports from the southern Indian state of Karnataka.
The heat is on, quite literally so, in the peninsular India, breaking records of past many decades. The heatwave conditions have made life miserable in vast parts of southern India. Many state governments are taking preventive measures. Kerala has already declared holidays in the schools. But areas which go to polls on 7th of May are facing a serious challenge. First problem is being faced by the leaders who are campaigning for the votes. Take the case of Union Minister and BJP candidate for Dharwad Lok Sabha constituency, Prahlad Joshi. As mercury soars northwards, Prahlad decided to move early in the day and join many during their regular morning walks. The meeting served dual purpose, connecting with the voters and yet managing to beat the heat. Statewide, other candidates are also taking precautions of evading the heat and doing campaigning either in the morning or in the evening. But the real challenge is for the district administration. Surging mercury has prompted a series of steps by the officials to ensure that the voting doesn't get affected.
Conducted in the peak summer, that is in May 7th, we have elections in Dharwad. So in such a situation, heat wave guidelines and what are the precautions to be taken and what are the guidelines to be adopted, Election Commission has already given a directions on that. We are ready with the adequate medicines required for this heat related illness. Already we have distributed, supplied polling station wise, say ORS packets and other heat wave related, illness related medications, whatever precautionary measures are required, we have already given all this medical kit to the polling station wise polling staff. And apart from that, we are going to deploy one staff from the medical and health department in the polling station. In case of any emergency or any requirement, our staff will extend the health support from our side.
The authorities have also streamlined deployment of ambulances and medical staff in and around the polling booths. One health worker will be deployed in all the polling booths and provision for ORS packets will also be made.
And especially we are giving focus to the senior citizens because they are very prone to this, senior citizens and persons with disabilities. So these people have been given special focus and special queues have been formed and they are ensured proper shade is provided and proper sitting arrangement is provided. Extra chairs have been provided and wherever there is heat and we have provided them fans and somewhere with coolers also. So all these arrangements have been made to combat this heat wave.
With the meteorological department warning of continuing rising mercury, the real challenge is to ensure that the voting percentage doesn't slump down.
It's a challenge for everyone, including the Election Commission of India, the district administration and the political parties to ensure that voters come out in large numbers despite the weather vagaries and exercise their franchise. So far, the Indian voter has ensured that he overcomes all obstacles, man-made or otherwise, and help democracy thrive in India. With camera person Mor Mukut Sharma, Ravi Dhiman, DD India in Dharwad, Karnataka.
Mainpuri is one of 10 seats in Uttar Pradesh going to the polls in the third phase of election on 7th May. The contest here is between the Samajwadi Party and the BJP. Dimple Yadav is the Samajwadi Party candidate following the death of party supremo Mulayam Singh Yadav. Amritpal Singh caught up with her on the campaign trail.
Of the 10 seats that go to polls in Uttar Pradesh on the 7th of May, one key seat is that of Mainpuri, from where Dimple Yadav, the sitting MP from this seat. What does the contest look like when we talk about the whole of the state of Uttar Pradesh?
India Bloc Alliance and the Samajwadi Party is doing quite well, and we will see unexpected results in these elections because what I believe is there's a lot of problem regarding the youth, regarding the farmers, regarding the women, and as well as regarding the policies that has been, carried forward by the present government.
But the BJP claims that it has what they call a double-engine Sarkar. They say they are in the center, they are in the state, they've led to a lot of development, and that is why people will vote for them.
There has been management failures. There has not been any kind of investment in the state, and that is why we don't have job opportunities for the youth here.
Okay. Even while you claim that you have the support, your opponents attack you, saying you're a dynastic party.
I think if he's saying like that, he's questioning the whole process of democracy, because we as individuals are going to the people of the country and we are asking for their support. Now it is up to the people whether they support us or they don't support us.
Rahul Gandhi filed the nomination papers from Rai Bareli. The BJP alleges that he is scared to go to Amethi. He had consulted Akhilesh Yadav.
It is the party decisions from where which candidate has to fight, and it depends upon the party.
Okay. Are you confident you are retaining this seat?
Yes, I'm very much confident. I'm getting a lot of respect, love of the people of this constituency.
So Dimple Yadav there is saying that she is receiving love and affection of the people. We'll have to see whether that converts into votes for her and her party and the India Alliance. With cameraman Yogesh Kumar, this is Amritpal Singh in Mainpuri, Uttar Pradesh.
Most cities and towns would like to be on the global map or gain national and global recognition for something unique. West Bengal's Murshidabad has similar aspirations. The locals want a Bengali sweetmeat which was first made in Murshidabad in the 16th century to be given the Indian government's geographical indication or GI tag so that the entire region can benefit from it. Gautam Roy has more.
Bengalis are known for their sweet tooth and passion for fine cuisines. The variety of cottage cheese or chena-based sweets in West Bengal is mind-boggling. The Rasgulla and Gulab Jamun are famed worldwide. But have you heard of Chana Bora?
Chana Bora is made completely with cottage cheese and deep fried in ghee. It's our favorite. We also put a little bit of maida and sugar and then fry it.
It's a sweetmeat which was first made in Murshidabad in the 16th century and is unique to this area, which is going to polls on the 7th of May in the third phase of India's national elections. Legend has it that Murshidabad's Qasim Bazar Maharaja Monin Chandra Nandi was tired of serving the usual sweets to his guests. He's directed his chef Patal Ustad to make something which is neither Rasgulla nor Pantua, and the Ustad came up with Chana Bora. If you come to Murshidabad and don't try the unique and legendary Chana Bora, then they say your trip hasn't been worthwhile. So let's give it a try. Juicy, caramelly, slightly hard but on the outside but soft on the inside. A bit like Kala Jam but different. The extra heat and thicker than usual sugar syrup gives the Chana Bora a longer shelf life than other cottage cheese based sweets. And in election season, Murshidabad sweetmeat makers are pushing for it to be given a geographical indicator tag by the central government.
We want to put the quality sweetmeats of Murshidabad on the global map. GI tag is very important for that purpose. We also want the GI tag because we would like our small town to get more business and prosper through national and international recognition.
There's a tradition among Murshidabad and its twin city Behrampur's sweetmeat makers to also gift outside Chana Boras to guests and esteemed visitors who've ranged from politicians to film stars.
माननीय राहुल गांधी जी, राष्ट्रपति प्रणब मुखर्जी जब बहरमपुर में सभा करने आए थे, तब उन लोगों ने हमारे शॉप यानी कि मंजूश्री स्वीट्स में आए थे. उन लोगों ने भी ये छाना बड़ा टेस्ट करके गए हैं. उन लोग आनंद से करके गए हैं. और ये इतना ही नहीं, ये छाना बड़ा हॉलीवुड टॉलीवुड से बहुत तारका स्टार आए हैं. उन लोगों भी खा के बहुत नाम करके गए हैं. मोदी जी जब बहरमपुर में अगर सभा करने आए तो हम लोग इच्छा है कि बहुत बड़ा एक छाना बड़ा गिफ्ट करेंगे.
Who doesn't want to stand out in a crowd? Murshidabad sweetmeat makers feel that they've got what it takes to make Chana Bora the region's landmark product. They're calling the attention of the political leadership in election season to put Murshidabad on the national culinary and gourmet map. With cameraperson Uttam Singh, Gautam Roy, Murshidabad, West Bengal, DD India.
Ashari Kti in the Dhubri district of Assam is famous for its terracotta and pottery in India and abroad. But despite its rich cultural heritage, Ashari Kti faces certain challenges and people want to make their voices heard in this election. Tapas Bhattacharya reports.
Ashari Kti is a village in Dhubri district. This village is famous for its traditional crafts such as terracotta and pottery. It is one of the largest clusters of terracotta and pottery in the country. Want to know more about this place and what they think about this general election? Watch this special report. Ashari Kti, known for its rich cultural heritage and traditional crafts, particularly terracotta and pottery, holds a unique position. Here, more than 90% of families are engaged in the intricate craft of terracotta, shaping clay into beautiful masterpieces that reflect the essence of Assamese culture.
This was our ancestral home. While our ancestors moved from here, we returned to this land. This soil is excellent for terracotta.
For over a century, the skilled hands of Ashari Kti's artisans have breathed life into terracotta, preserving a legacy that traces its roots back to the ancient civilization. But despite its rich cultural heritage, Ashari Kti faces challenges. The lack of basic infrastructure such as roads, drainage and schools inhibits its growth potential.
It is the negligence of the government, I can say that. My mother has got national award for her contribution. Only on the basis of her contribution, this village has been developed. It is the negligence of the local body as well as the district administration. I can say that district administration mostly neglected.
Yet there is hope. Ashari Kti has been designated as a model village with funds allocated to catalyze its development.
Government is trying to help us. Recently, Nectar has taken a project here, more about 3 crores of rupees, and they are installed so many bhatti for firing the product and pug mills and to making how to make the soil, etc., etc. About 28 families has got the financial assistance to make their bhatti sheds.
As the sun sets over Ashari Kti, one thing remains clear: the spirit of this village, its people and their craft will continue to endure, shaping the cultural landscape of Assam for generations to come. In Ashari Kti, over 90% of the families thrive on this intricate terracotta craft. These days, this Dhubri district has acquired a pivotal position in the terracotta and pottery market in India and abroad. This village of Ashari Kti continues to create wonders out of clay, and this rich tradition is kept alive generation after generation. With camera person Naveen, this is Tapush Bhattacharya for DD India from Assam.
A one-of-its-kind initiative for voter awareness, the Gujarat Chief Electoral Office has come up with a virtual voting experience in Metaverse ahead of actual voting day. Election Metaverse serves as a guide for voters. It aims to encourage the participation of the youth. Meghna Dev has more.
You must have seen the Election Commission using very innovative and creative ideas for their sweep activities to encourage the voters to vote, to educate them on how to vote and what is the procedure to vote. The Election Commission is now using Metaverse so that the people who want to vote, the people who go to vote, can use it to educate themselves, especially the first-time voters can use it to educate themselves and know the procedure to vote. We are joined in by Siddharth Waghela, who is the new business head for GTPL, who has come up with this video, and a whole team of professionals who has worked day and night for the last 15 days to ensure that this video is more educational and the video can also be accessed very easily on their desktops and their phones. Siddharth, can you please tell me more on what is it about, what is the concept like, and why Metaverse?
So, Metaverse is technically you can say a simulator for the new generation, for how to vote, what to vote, and to give them a feel, touch, that they don't get baffled when they go for voting for the first time.
Right.
It is not only for the first-time user, but also it can be used for the new generation who are more handy with mobile phones, who are more handy with VR, who are more handy with desktops. So they can feel, touch, and have a total understanding of how the officials and what are the roles of them.
How did you present it to the Election Commission in Gujarat so that they have approved of using this Metaverse? Because it's the first time in India we are seeing such an educational content for voter awareness.
We thought that let us push the election more, and the youngsters there are 13 lakh voters, young voters, for the first time voters in Gujarat. So to boost them up and to give a new generation somewhat idea that how your next election or upcoming election would be when you are ready to vote.
So we are also joined in by Hiten, who handles the tech here. According to you, how many youngsters are today coming on Metaverse? Is there a huge number of youngsters who actually access Metaverse or gaming for all of that?
Yes, you know very well, like the young boys, okay, when they are using a mobile app right now for playing games, right? Okay, so all people, all the new young generation have the phones, okay. So that's why we created this metaverse so they can access the app easily with the link they can open and they can see the environment in the gaming zone, right?
Okay.
And they are aware of it. So it is very easy for them to guide them and give the instruction like how to work.
Still to come on DD India News Hour. Gaza ceasefire talks intensify in Egypt. And German-New Zealand research institutes sign Antarctic deal.
Joining us today on Champions Speak is none other than legendary goalkeeper P.R. Sujesh, also known as the Great Wall of Indian hockey.
We are just polishing all the areas now. We are just focusing on the best part, the strong areas first, and we are working hard on that.
Penalty shootouts often decide crucial matches in hockey. What goes through your mind during those moments?
Penalty shootout, it's a give and take policy. Then automatically that pressure comes to me.
With the evolving tactics and strategies in modern hockey, how do you adapt your game to stay ahead of the competition?
We can find out our positive and negativity from there. So we do have our homework.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. So Saturday was the penultimate day of campaigning for the third phase of India's parliamentary election. Campaigning will end on Sunday evening local time. Polling will be held on the 7th of May. And joining me now are four of my colleagues who have been covering the election for us from the ground. We have Amritpal Singh in Uttar Pradesh, Tapas Bhattacharya in Assam, Meghna Dev in Gujarat and Akshay Dongre in Madhya Pradesh. Let me first go to Tapas Bhattacharya, who is standing by in Guwahati, Assam. Also with me is Meghna Dev in Ahmedabad. First to you, Tapas. Now you filed a report on the terracotta and pottery industry of Dhubri. Talk to us a bit more about the region. What are the people's expectations, their hopes and aspirations or concerns?
Right, so Dhubri is one of the oldest municipalities. In fact, in during British rule, I think it's 1883, if I'm not wrong. It was first established as a municipal city, municipal state, and from then onwards, if you take a close look, it hardly made much of a movement. There are. It's mainly it's a Muslim population, and twice Badr Najmal has been from AIUDF. He has been winning, and when we spoke to the people out there, and even to the terracotta workers, they say that everything is fine, but the basic problem remains. The basic problem, that is about water, drinking water, electricity, having a proper education institute. And for that matter, even infrastructure, basic infrastructure such as roads. So these are some of the key concerns of the people out here, and they spoke about the fact that in the last 10 years, especially in that particular constituency, not much has happened. They believe that because both Ajmal and Raqibul Hussain, who's contesting from Congress seat. They are both are not from Dhubri. They're from the other cities and other places. So that's something that has been going on their mind. But the other part that they have been talking about is that there is it's a Muslim dominated area, as I mentioned, but there is a clear distinction between what you might call the Desi Muslim and the Muslim who came from Bangladesh side from 70s onwards, that influx that have taken place. And because of that, the geopolitical scenario, the demography of Dhubri has underwent a lot of changes over the years, and that's one part of it. They believe that it is high time that the government steps in and and work on that. The Dhubri is supposed to have a airport also, but it's not working right now. The waterways is not properly developed. So those are some of the things that they've been talking about. As you mentioned, the fact that there is a terracotta cluster out there. That's one of the largest terracotta cluster in the country, and yet they do not have the manpower, the wherewithal to take the art to the different part of the country. It is there. Even remember when the Ganga Vilas came with all the Swiss tourists, they went to this place and it showed the true India to the world. But as I mentioned, it is not that easy to to provide the world this kind of art and culture if you do not have the basic infrastructure facilities available. So that's one of the major staking point in this particular constituency.
All right, we'll leave it there. From Guwahati in India's east now to the extreme west. Meghna Dev is standing by in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Meghna, Gujarat is home to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his trusted Lieutenant and Home Minister Amit Shah. Minister Shah campaigned in Valsad in the state on Saturday. He himself is contesting from Gandhinagar. The BJP had won all 26 seats of the state in 2019. Can it repeat its performance in 2024 also? How's the campaign of the other political parties coming along?
Well, when we see this is the penultimate day, as you said, Ramesh, to the election campaign, what we definitely see is the war of words continuing on the ground, in political rallies, in public meetings, in all addresses we see of the star campaigners. But yes, definitely when you ask about this is the home ground for Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also senior BJP leader Amit Shah, and especially from where he is contesting the Lok Sabha elections for the second time. It has been a seat where he used to assist Lal Krishna Advani or used to have his whole political career, or we can say that that area has been his home ground for learning politics and evolving as a politician. What we definitely see is that Gujarat, not only in the 2019 or 2014 Lok Sabha elections, did give a clean sweep to the Bharatiya Janata Party. What we definitely see last time around in 2022 assembly elections, 52% of the votes went for the BJP. So BJP did manage to get 156 out of the 182 seats in the assembly elections. So definitely BJP would try to encash the kind of lead that they have got in the assembly elections. But having said that, in Gujarat, this time around, we see a good contest in different areas. Today, we saw that Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP senior leader Amit Shah was campaigning in Bodeli, which is near the Chota Udaipur district. He was also in the southern part of Gujarat, in Valsad, as you said. We definitely did also see that Sunita Kejriwal, wife of Delhi Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal, was campaigning, just a couple of days ago in Bhavnagar for the India Alliance candidate. We did see Ashok Gehlot here. We did see Priyanka Gandhi Vadra here in public meetings. So definitely, while there is always a one-on-one, we say BJP versus Congress, contest in Gujarat. This time only on 2 seats, the Aam Aadmi Party has got an opportunity under the India Alliance. But definitely, when we see on the ground, there is a lot of war of words happening while BJP is coming out with BJP's guarantee. Congress is talking about the Nyay Patra. So definitely, it is a good contest in Banaskantha, in some parts of the southern Gujarat. Also, in some parts of Saurashtra, we will definitely see a good fight. But it is a challenge. It will be an important thing for the BJP to win all the seats here in Gujarat.
Right, we'll leave it there. Meghna Dev in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Before that, Tapas Bhattacharya was in Guwahati, Assam. Thank you both for joining us. So we've covered Assam and Gujarat. Let me now go across to another of my colleagues. Akshay Dongre is in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. If Akshay, is he with us? Can you hear me, Akshay? Yeah. Also joining me is Amritpal Singh from Uttar Pradesh, Sambhal in particular. To you first, Akshay, 8 seats of Madhya Pradesh will go to the polls on the 7th of May. Having travelled in the region over the past few days, Akshay, how would you characterize the mood or sentiment among voters in the 8 poll-bound seats, including Guna and Vidisha?
If you look at the Congress party, then the aim of the Congress party is to ensure that it breaks some of the seats that the Bharatiya Janata Party had won last time around. Because in 2019, if you look at the performance of both of these parties, then out of 29 seats, BJP managed to get 28. Congress just got 1 seat. So the priority for the BJP, or rather the goal for the Bharatiya Janata Party this time around, is to clean sweep the state, get all the 29 seats from Madhya Pradesh, and that is why the 400 par, or we will get over 400 seats kind of slogans are being repeatedly raised here. In fact, in an interview with DD India, the former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh also reiterated Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who is himself contesting from Vidisha. However, the goal, or rather the aim for the Congress party, is to break as many seats as it can.
Right.
To dent into the citadel of the Bharatiya Janata Party. But the mood in Vidisha, Shivraj Singh Chauhan is a huge figure, political figure in the state, so there seems to be in favor of the BJP. But it's like Rajgarh, where a former chief minister from the Congress party, Vijay Singh, is contesting, then things may be difficult for the Bharatiya Janata Party, given the fact that they are contesting this election with an incumbent member of parliament.
All right, fair enough. Let me now go across to Amritpal Singh, who is standing by at Sambhal in Uttar Pradesh. Amrit, 10 seats up for grabs, including Sambhal, from where you are now joining us. Now, this belt or region, as you have been reporting, is known as the Yadav land because the Yadav caste holds sway. It's also a stronghold of the Samajwadi Party. How's the contest shaping up there?
That's right. Yadavs are a dominant force in the region where these 10 seats go to polls, and that is why it's considered a Samajwadi Party stronghold. Muslims are also in majority in some areas. For example, in Sambhal, they constitute about 47 point something percent, close to about 48% of the voters. So, the Samajwadi Party therefore gets an edge because traditionally the Muslim Yadav combined vote is seen as the core vote bank of the Samajwadi Party. But the BJP also is very much in the fight because the BJP the last time around had won 8 out of these 10 seats. And when I talk about, these divisions about Muslims, Yadavs, or others, say even the scheduled castes in places like Agra and Hathras, these broadly apply, but they are not very neat divisions. Vote transfers do take place. For example, where I am in Sambhal, there is a strong Samajwadi Party candidate, but there is a strong BJP candidate also, because the BSP also has fielded a candidate who is a Muslim. So apart from their core vote bank, which comes from the scheduled caste vote bank, there would be some Muslim division of votes between the Muslims that would take place. In this area, in most of the seats, it's a close contest between the Samajwadi Party and the BJP, and in a few odd seats, the BSP's candidates are strong, and one particular seat that I visited and toured, I felt the Congress candidate was also has a strong candidature there. Ramesh.
All right, we'll leave it there. Amritpal Singh in Sambhal, UP, and Akshay Dongre in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Right, so that was all the election-related news. Moving on for now, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar rejected US President Joe Biden's comment that xenophobia was hobbling India's economic growth. The minister said during a visit to the eastern Indian state of Odisha on Saturday that India's economy is not faltering and that historically Indian society is very open.
We are the most open society आज तक मैंने इतना ओपन सोसाइटी, इतना प्लूरलिस्टिक सोसाइटी, इतना डाइवर्स सोसाइटी कभी देखा नहीं. तो मैं ये कहूँगा that we are actually not just not xenophobic, we are the most open, most pluralistic and in many ways here the most understanding society in the world. Secondly, there was some talk about economic performance. आप जानते हैं कि हमारे यहाँ जो है जीडीपी जो है 7% पे है. आप दूसरे लोगों का जीडीपी चेक करिए, ग्रोथ रेट चेक करिए और आपको उसमें आंसर मिल जाएगा.
And Minister Jaishankar went on to say that what is happening in Canada is mostly due to their internal politics and nothing to do with India. His remarks came during an interaction with senior journalists during a visit to Bhubaneswar.
It's not so much a problem in the US. Our biggest problem right now is in Canada. Because in Canada, actually, today the party in power in Canada, other parties in Canada have given these kinds of extremism, separatism, advocates of violence a certain legitimacy in the name of free speech. If there are things which happen out there, there will be pushback. You know, the Newton's law of politics will apply there also. You know, that there will be a reaction. Others will, take steps or counter it.
All right, let me get you some world news now. A Hamas official told Reuters news agency on Saturday that the group's negotiators have reached Egypt for talks on a possible Gaza ceasefire and release of some hostages. US spy agency CIA's director was also present in Egypt's capital, Cairo, for indirect diplomacy. Egypt's state-affiliated Al Qahira News TV channel confirmed the arrival of the Hamas delegation in Cairo. A Palestinian official with knowledge of the mediation efforts was optimistic of a breakthrough. US President Joe Biden has said that freedom of speech and the rule of law must be respected in protests at college campuses over the war in Gaza. In response to a reporter's question, Biden said that the campus protests had not forced him to reconsider his policies in West Asia.
Dissent is essential to democracy, but dissent must never lead to disorder or to denying the rights of others so students can finish the semester and their college education. Look, it's basically a matter of fairness. It's a matter of what's right. There's the right to protest, but not the right to cause chaos. People have the right to get an education, the right to get a degree, the right to walk across the campus safely without fear of being attacked.
New Zealand's Antarctic Agency signed a memorandum of understanding with Germany's Alfred Wegener Institute to foster cooperation between the two polar science bodies. Signing of the MOU came amid China's growing presence in Antarctica. Western governments are worried that China's increased presence in Antarctica and the Arctic could provide the Chinese army with better surveillance capabilities. China opened its 5th research base in Antarctica in February.
A key part of keeping New Zealand's home region peaceful is the strengthening and maintenance of the Antarctic Treaty System that governs Antarctica and the Southern Ocean. The Antarctic Treaty System has international cooperation in science as its very core. This arrangement builds on decades of science cooperation between New Zealand and Germany. Our current projects provide uniquely valuable information about how the environment is responding to climate change.
And now take a look at different climate scenarios obtaining around the world.
Countries across the world are facing extreme weather conditions, from flash floods and landslides in Indonesia to an intense heat wave in Myanmar, where the temperature has shattered past records. In Indonesia, officials launched search and rescue operations following floods and landslides triggered by heavy rains for at least 15 people in the South Sulawesi province. Over 115 people have been evacuated in the regions.
total evakuasi sampai dengan
Please note that in Luwu, 16 people survived, 7 have died, and others are still being rescued. Hopefully, the search process can go well thanks to the support and prayers of the people in South Sulawesi and people of Indonesia in general.
The southernmost state of Rio Grande do Sul is grappling with one of the worst storms in recent years, prompting the state government to declare a state of public calamity. Heavy rain brought flooding to parts of southeastern Texas on Friday. The river had risen to 75 feet above sea level. Texas Governor Greg Abbott issued a disaster declaration for the area. People in Myanmar are also grappling with the heat wave that has battered the country. Temperatures in April have been the highest on record ever for April.
The weather of this year is hotter than usual, affecting our daily lives and work. With frequent power outages, things have gotten worse. I have no choice but to use wet blankets to cover the roof and floor for cooling. Without electricity, I also need to find batteries for the electric fans.
In April this year, over 10 regions in Myanmar saw their daily temperatures surpassing all previous records. The record-shattering heat wave has triggered troubles for people's daily lives in the country. Bureau Report, DD India.
The Consulate General of India in Dubai hosted an open house for Indian nationals on Saturday. Consul General Satish Kumar Shivan chaired the event. A team of legal experts and volunteers were present to assist with the queries related to consular and legal matters.
Today, the Consulate General of India organized an open house to reach out to the community members. This is an exercise which we used to do it regularly. We do have a regular walk-in every Friday, but this is supposed to be a weekend open house where the community members could come in and air their grievances on any matters. The Consul General and the consul officials and the officials of all the wings of the consulate were available to listen to the grievances and address them as much as possible on the spot.
The permanent mission of India to the United Nations in New York, in collaboration with the Ministry of Panchayati Raj and the United Nations Population Fund, presented a side event during the 57th session of the Commission on Population and Development. The event was titled Localizing the SDGs, Women in Local Governance in India Lead the Way. It focused on the vital role Indian women play at the grassroots and the impact on sustainable development.
The United Nations headquarters echoed with the impactful voices of exceptional women leaders. They spoke passionately about their innovative initiatives and accomplishments in advancing the sustainable development goals through grassroots governance, despite the obstacles and hardships they encountered on their leadership path.
And there is a massive scheme on way to promote development led by women. You know, the paradigm has shifted in India. It's no longer women's empowerment, but it is development and growth of India being led by women. And there are various schemes, whether it is empowering women, whether it's extending micro loans, whether it's incentivizing them to take, STEM education, encouraging them to be entrepreneurs, the reservation across the country, seats in parliament.
The event showcased dynamic interactive presentations by three renowned female elected representatives, Supriya Das Datta from Tripura, Kunuku Hema Kumari from Andhra Pradesh and Neeru Yadav from Rajasthan. They shared their insights and pioneering approaches to local governance, driving the localization of SDGs across various thematic domains. From addressing issues like child marriages to championing health, education, livelihoods and environmental sustainability, these women exemplified the profound impact of grassroots leadership. They eloquently articulated the challenges they encountered and triumphed over on their leadership journey.
My mission has been to create an enabling environment for the women in our community, as they have led the life of well-being and dignity. In order to empower women, I have focused on two crucial pillars, health and education. And we also educate pregnant women for complete antenatal care and proper nutrition.
A significant achievement this year has been the establishment of Women Convention by the State Panchayati Raj Training Institute under my leadership. This initiative allows women from diverse backgrounds to openly share their experiences, successes and suggestions.
भारत सरकार के स्वच्छ भारत अभियान के तहत मैंने भी अपनी पंचायत को प्लास्टिक मुक्त करने का एक प्रयास किया और अपनी पंचायत के अंदर एक बर्तन बैंक की स्थापना की। अब गांव के लोग शादी समारोह में प्लास्टिक की बजाय स्टील के बर्तन यूज करते हैं और गांव की जो दुकानें हैं वहां पर पॉलीथीन का प्रयोग ना हो, इसके लिए हमने महिलाओं को कपड़े के बैग तैयार करना सिखाया।
This event emphasized the indispensable role of women in local governance in advancing the SDGs. It ignited international interest in exporting India's Panchayati Raj model as a successful framework for local governance. Kriti Vadhera for DD India.
In some sports news, Russian 7th seed Andrei Rublev will take on Felix Auger-Aliassime in the Madrid Open final on Sunday. Rublev reached his first Madrid Open final with a 6-4, 6-3 win over Taylor Fritz. The 27-year-old was the highest seed left in the tournament at the semi-final stage, so he is the favourite to claim his second title of the year. Meanwhile, the unseeded Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime is coming for the title match after his opponent Ziri Leheka retired from the other semi-final because of a suspected back injury. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India News Up. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screens now to download it. Also, let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.